Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Paul Singh. I'm the president of the Eye Centers of Racine and Kenosha.
And I'm Dr. Sanka. I'm the vice president of the Eye Centers of Racine and Kenosha.
Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and to help explore the new renovations here at the Kenosha Eye Center. For the last couple of decades, actually 3 decades now, we've been a part of the Racine and Kenosha area, and we're excited to unveil our new renovated Kenosha Eye Center.
Thank you for coming today, and we'd like to give you a little tour of the office and show you the new exciting technology and equipment that we have that allow us to help you see the world better.
Why don't you come with us? Have some fun.
All right, well, come with me this way. Your patient journey will start here in our clinical area. We begin with a couple of pieces of very advanced technology. One is our eye profiler autorefractor. It helps to estimate the refractive error in your eyes, which allows us to prescribe glasses. And it not only does that, it also takes a mapping of the surface of your eye, which is also very helpful for a medical assessment of the eye. It takes all of this information and it digitally transfers it to our exam room, and it allows our optometrist or our ophthalmologist to therefore prescribe glasses and come up with an accurate prescription more quickly and efficiently. Next to this is our Aura, and what the Aura does is give us an estimate of your eye pressure, which is very important for glaucoma. But in addition to that, it also measures the elasticity of your cornea, which gives us also a great indication as to your inherent risk for glaucoma. So with these two tools, we're able to not only help prescribe glasses, but also give our patients a better idea as to how much at risk they are for glaucoma. And here we are in one of our digital examination lanes. As you can see here, I've got this iPad here, which has received the data from our autorefractor eye profiler, and it's performed a mapping based off of the data taken in from that machine. And then we can use the Visufor 500 to more efficiently do a refraction that will help us to determine your prescription for glasses and customize that prescription to give you the best possible vision.
Here we are in one of our telemedicine diagnostic rooms. This room is special, and what makes it unique are the technologies that allow us to provide remote telemedicine care, but also educate patients. There's a camera in this slit lamp, which is one of our main diagnostic tools in eye care, and it has a camera that not only allows us to share images and videos to the patient, as well as a family sitting with the patient, to understand what is happening, what is causing their problems, and then what are the next steps that we need to utilize to help provide care and to help optimize their vision. But it also allows us to perform telemedicine visits. The camera here also allows us access remotely. So if I'm in a home or if I'm on vacation, let's say I'm out of the office for some reason, or at our other location, if one of our technicians is here or another provider is here with a patient, I can see remotely from my phone or another computer what is happening. So I can provide care and expertise even if I'm not physically in the office if need be as well. And here we are in our main clinic hallway where we have 12 exam room lanes, similar to what you saw earlier. And this allows us to have multiple providers at the same time taking care of our patients in the most efficient way possible while providing the best care possible as well. Here we are in one of our diagnostic areas. We have multiple different diagnostic tools to better evaluate the health of your eye, whether the front of the eye, the middle of the eye, or the back of the eye. Let's share some of the actual details of some of these new pieces of technology that we have.
So I'd like to show you one of our tools for assessing the surface of the eye. It's called the LacroDiag. And what's really nice about this instrument is that it can take an infrared picture to map out what we call the meibomian glands. And these are glands that line your eyelids. When you blink, those glands squeeze a little oil out onto the surface of your eye to protect and preserve the tear film and ensure proper lubrication of the eyes. So this can allow us to see if your meibomian glands are functioning properly and are healthy. It can also help us to assess the health of your tears and to see if you're a candidate for any of the procedures that we perform to improve the quality of the tears that your eyes are producing in the first place.
Here we are with one of our main instruments called the OCT. The OCT is essential for us to understand the health of the back of the eye, understanding the health of the optic nerve, which is the cable that connects the eye to the brain, which can be damaged in conditions like glaucoma. Also, conditions such as macular degeneration or diabetes in the eye can cause the blood vessels in the center of the eye and in the entire back lining of the eye, called the retina, to become damaged. This gives us an understanding of the health of the blood vessels in the back of the eye and understands if there's any diabetes or swelling or leaking from conditions like macular degeneration as well. This also has the ability to understand the front surface of the eye, understand the anatomy of the eye. For certain conditions like glaucoma, where the eye has a certain narrowing to it, this can also assess that part of the eye too as well.
And here's our Claris 500. This is what's called a fundus photographer. So this will take pictures of the retina, and this is extremely useful for all of our patients in which we have any concerns about their retina. For instance, our diabetics, or even our glaucoma patients where we need to get a good picture of the optic nerve. It can allow us to diagnose conditions such as diabetic retinopathy, or even retinal tears or detachments.
Here we have a very important piece of equipment to understand the quality of vision. There are patients who come in that may have a surface dryness or may have a cataract, and we want to understand what is the relative contribution of those conditions to the quality of vision. This HD analyzer looks at things like scatter, the quality of the light entering the eye. If someone has a high scatter index, that tells us either the surface is dry or they have a cataract that might be compromising their vision, and tells us what's the next step and if surgery or other treatments will be necessary for that patient.
As one of the only cornea specialists in the area, this machine is actually very important to my practice. It's a machine made by Conan, and it performs what's called specular microscopy. For many patients who have blurry vision or decreased vision, it can be because of their cornea, which is the outer dome of the eye. The cornea is like an onion, and it has layers. And the innermost layer of the cornea is very important because it pumps water that gets into the cornea back to the inside of the eye so that your cornea remains clear and your vision remains clear. Many patients have a condition called Fuchs dystrophy, which affects the innermost layer of the cornea. And it affects the quality of the cells that make up that innermost layer and the number of the cells. So this machine accurately assesses the quality and the quantity of the cells that make up the innermost layer of the cornea. And this in turn allows me to counsel my patients on whether a surgical procedure will be helpful to help enhance and regain their vision.
I'd like to take you on a tour of our cataract evaluation diagnostic suite. Come on in. Here, when you get a cataract evaluation, we use multiple technologies to better assess the cataract itself, the quality of the vision, and some of the anatomical measurements to better customize the type of lens that can be best suited for your eye. Let's take a look at some of those machines.
This is the IOL Master 700. It is a fundamental tool that we as ophthalmologists use to calculate the power of the intraocular lens that needs to be implanted into someone's eye after their cataract is removed. And this machine obtains very advanced and accurate measurements of the eye, including the length of the eye, the curvature of the cornea, and it can even assess the back of the eye in the retina, the central part of the retina, to see if there's any swelling or evidence of diabetic retinopathy or macular degeneration. This is the Oculus Panacam. It is a very important instrument that we use for the medical treatment of patients' corneas and also for cataract surgery, along with the IOL Master. The Panacam is a corneal topographer, and it maps the surface of the cornea. It measures corneal astigmatism, which is something that we can correct at the time of cataract surgery itself. Additionally, it can tell us whether a patient's cornea is shaped abnormally because of a condition such as keratoconus. This in turn will allow us to ensure the proper treatment of the patient's cornea and to ensure that we perform their cataract surgery even more accurately.
Here we have a machine known as the Eye Trace by Tracy Technologies. And what this machine does is gives us another assessment of the quality of the light entering the eye. It's able to separate the surface of the eye, called the cornea, you heard from previous diagnostic tools, also comparing that to the internal or the lens in the eye. And it can separate where is the pathology, where's the problem in the eye. And so for someone who's having a cataract surgery, we can see, is the surface of the eye healthy? Is it dry? Is it irritated? Well, what are what we call aberrations of the cornea? It can also tell us the relative contributions of the lens itself. Is the lens, the cataract, significant enough to warrant surgery? It can also help us with this map here to understand the relative contribution of astigmatism, the curvature of the eye not being evenly curved, and if it's possible or beneficial to correct that astigmatism. It also gives us, for the patient's understanding, a relative E, meaning how's the quality of the surface of the eye? In this person, very good quality surface. But it's here inside the eye, the lens in the eye is cloudy with a low number here. That tells us the cataract is the main issue for the patient as well. And since they have a healthy surface, we could implant multiple different lenses for that patient as well. So assessing the quality of the eye, understanding the different anatomical structures and their health gives us a better understanding and a better ability to tailor our lenses to see if this patient is a good candidate for a specific lens. Welcome to the Kanwar A. Singh Eye Surgery Suite. This is a very proud and emotional moment for me because my father, Dr. Kanwar A. Singh, is the founder of the eye centers overseen in Kenosha, and really was one of his dreams to provide top quality eye surgery right here in the office. We're the first and only practice in Wisconsin to offer in-office cataract and other surgical care for our patients. And what's nice about it is our patients have a wonderful calming experience. The same technicians that provide care in the pre-op area and even in our consults are the same technicians and staff that welcome the patients the day of the surgery. And here in our pre-op area where I'm standing, we have 3 beautiful, relaxing massage chairs where patients relax, they get evaluated, and get ready for surgery. They walk into our surgical center or surgical suite where we actually have the ability to perform cataract surgery, glaucoma surgery, and other even corneal surgeries. We also have the ability to perform laser vision correction, something called SMILE, and LASIK as well. And we're going to share with you some of those technologies that we have in both of those surgical suites. So why don't you come with me and we'll take a look. Welcome to our surgical suite. I'm wearing these kind of cool glasses here because we're the only practice in the world that has the ability to perform 3D heads-up surgery, including cataract surgery and glaucoma surgeries. This large monitor you see here allows me as a surgeon and anybody watching to see the exact same type of view. In 3D, I can see depth perception, I can see the entire eye during surgery, and what that can help with is for my own self, having a better posture during surgery, more relaxed during surgery. It also allows those who are watching the surgery, whether we have residents and fellows and other people coming to watch surgery and learning from us when we teach, they can also see the exact same view that we are seeing as surgeons. We also have something here called a Callisto. This also allows us to map the eye during surgery and to align our lenses for conditions like astigmatism. When we're putting certain lenses in the eye that have to be positioned in a certain way, this digitally aligns that lens for us to make sure we're providing the most accurate surgery possible. This also has something called Rescan, which is intraoperative OCT. It's a technology that allows us to see 3D and also certain images that can allow us better ways of understanding the different anatomical structures in the eye while we're doing surgery as well. And again, we're the only centers or the only practice that has the ability to perform 3D heads-up surgery.
Welcome to our refractive laser suite. Here we perform laser vision correction for our patients. And we offer 3 different procedures: PRK, LASIK, and SMILE. LASIK is something that everyone has heard of. It's been around for decades. And it's a procedure in which we use a laser to create a flap on the cornea, which we then lift and then use another laser here called the Visex to reshape the cornea per your prescription, put the flap back down, and you heal. And your vision gets much better almost immediately. LASIK is a fantastic procedure and we love performing it for our patients. PRK is another procedure that we perform. And in PRK, there is no flap. You just rub the surface layer of the cornea off and then use the same excimer laser to reshape the cornea per your prescription. The healing time takes a little bit longer than LASIK, but the quality of vision is just the same. So it's not uncommon for someone to choose LASIK over PRK because of the healing time. However, there is a chance to have a flap-based complication, and therefore PRK is a little safer compared to LASIK. So for some patients, PRK is a more appropriate procedure. So this brings us to SMILE. SMILE is, in my opinion, the best of both worlds between LASIK and PRK. And the reason for that is because SMILE offers a healing time that is much closer to LASIK, yet with a safety profile that is much closer to PRK. Let me show you the VisuMax from Zeiss. This is the only machine in the world that is certified to perform SMILE. And when you perform SMILE, what this laser does is it creates a thin disc of tissue within the cornea called a lenticule. And it's not at the surface of the cornea, it's within the substance, in the middle of the cornea. And on the surface, it creates a very tiny 4mm incision, through which we go and separate out that disc of tissue and remove it from the eye. This results in the cornea reshaping itself to your prescription and improving your vision. And because there is no flap, the safety profile of SMILE is much closer to PRK because you can't have a flap-based complication. But because the surface of the eye is also left intact, the healing time is much faster and gives you the benefits of LASIK. We are the first and only center in Wisconsin and Illinois to perform SMILE. At the end of the day, we offer all three of these procedures to our patients. We're not cookie cutters. We're not here to impose a treatment upon you. We're here to customize and tailor a treatment to optimize your vision based on your needs, your goals, your desires, and the health of your eye. And by the way, I'd like to introduce you to Seymour. He's going to be here the whole way throughout your journey to laser vision correction and optimal vision. Now that you've seen our laser vision correction suite, you're probably wondering how we figure out how to correct your prescription. And it's not just about saying better one, better two, and saying here's a prescription for glasses. This machine here actually helps us to get a very customized, precise prescription of the eye using wavefront technology. And with this, we are able to tell our lasers just how to correct your vision with laser vision correction.
That is the visual field machine. This is one of the most important ways that we can understand the function of your nerve. We talk about a condition called glaucoma, where the nerve in the back of the eye, which connects the eye to the brain, becomes damaged. A lot of times from patients who have pressures that are too high for their eye. And one way to monitor patients or even diagnose how much nerve damage they've had, we use this machine to map out your peripheral vision. Because when people develop nerve damage or glaucoma or even other neurologic conditions, we start to lose sensitivity of our peripheral vision. And a lot of patients can't tell on their own if they lost vision, especially early on in the disease. This machine can help us understand and again allow us to know if our treatments are working and preserving vision from getting worse as well. An important part of our practice is having research and being part of research protocols and research projects. There are a number of different studies that we've been a part of over the last 15 years, from phase 2 to phase 3 trials, meaning we have brought products to market that were investigational many years ago. And it's wonderful because our patients have access to technologies that are not yet available. And they're also part of the process to allow future patients to have access and gain benefits from these different various technologies. This is one of the rooms that we perform our research evaluations and post-research evaluations. It's called a 4-meter lane. We have different technologies and tools and diagnostic tools that allow us to objectively assess patients before and after the various research products and research procedures. Well, here we are in our YAG SLT room. This laser behind me is an incredible piece of technology and can perform a number of different procedures for a variety of patients. There are people who have something called narrow angles, which is where their anatomy of their eye predisposes them to a sudden spike in pressure, and that can cause loss of vision. That's called narrow angle glaucoma. We can perform a procedure known as LPI, laser peripheral iridotomy, that can make a microscopic opening of the color part of the eye to prevent that spike from happening. Very efficient, done right here in the office as well. Another type of glaucoma, called open angle glaucoma, the most common form of glaucoma, again, where the pressure can go up, but where the drain itself is actually a little blocked. Kind of resistance is forming in the drainage system itself, which causes the pressure to slowly go up, and that can cause the nerve in the back of the eye, again, to become damaged. Now, we can perform this beam of light here called SLT. This machine has the ability to perform this laser, which is a non-destructive, basically, beam of light that excites the tissue in the eye, the drainage system, so the body releases its own enzymes to naturally open those pores up. Think about it like a rejuvenation laser. It's non-destructive, so it can be repeated over time if need be. And the benefits are it can be done as a first line because it's efficient and safe, so people don't have to even start drops in the first place if they have high pressures. Or if they're already on drops, we don't want to add more and more drops. This beam of light treatment, SLT, can be a way to help prevent them from needing to add more drops, but still control their pressure to prevent their nerve from becoming damaged. There's also the ability for this machine to perform something called YAG capsulotomy. After cataract surgery, routine, normal cataract surgery, the membrane that holds the lens in position can become cloudy. Again, we perform cataract surgery by removing the cloudy lens and putting a new lens in its place. Well, the membrane that holds it becomes cloudy and the vision can go down. Well, again, in a very efficient way right here in the office, this laser can clear up that cloudy membrane and allow the vision to return back to what it was right after cataract surgery. Another exciting procedure that this can do for us is something called YAG vitreolysis. There are a number of people who have symptomatic floaters, where they see clouds and clumps and dark spots in their vision, which can either degrade their vision or can be a distraction. Now, historically, people who had floaters were ignored. In other words, floaters are basically clumps of collagen. The whole back of the eye is hollow, filled with a jelly. That jelly can change its consistency and form clumps that can block the light from entering the back of the eye. So again, they see black spots, gray spots, or clouds in their vision. Now, for many years, people were ignored. We thought it was just normal, nothing to do, because we didn't have a great option. The only other option to take care of floaters was a surgery called vitrectomy, which is a wonderful procedure and works very well, but it is a little bit more invasive for some people. And so a lot of people were ignored. But by having this laser now with this new technology, it's optimized to basically identify the floaters, also to efficiently release energy and deliver energy in a way that allows us to vaporize or break apart those floaters so they're not as symptomatic for patients, so they can live their life. And we are one of the centers who actually came up with the protocol for this procedure, and I'm also part of a society and one of the founders of a society called the International Ophthalmic Floater Society as well. Again, we're honored to be able to offer this procedure for patients because, again, a number of people come from around the world to our practice because not a lot of people are offering this yet, and it can be significant and it can really affect their daily functioning as well. So we're proud to be able to offer that to help our patients' quality of life. Well, here we are with a very interesting looking machine. This is called the ArcScan, which is a very fancy ultrasound. And what this allows us to do is identify different structures of the eye, which we really can't do with our normal slit lamps or other diagnostic tools. And with this machine and some water and a very interesting technology under the hood here in this computer, it can identify different layers of the surface of the eye, of the part of the eye that produces fluid for patients who have glaucoma, and for other conditions even behind the color part of the eye as well, that we really historically couldn't identify. So for certain procedures that we want to do, something called ICLs, which are lenses that we can implant in the eye instead of doing laser to remove glasses. There are also other conditions, narrow angles, where we talked about earlier, where patients have anatomy of the eye that can predispose them to a spike in pressure. This can identify those as well as measure the different structures of the eye as well. And for people who had, let's say, refractive surgery, LASIK, PRK, or other conditions where their surface of the eye maybe has been aberrated, has been treated, or we're thinking about treating, we can identify different structures and make sure that they're good candidates for those procedures as well. Thank you so much for joining us on this tour of our renovated Kenosha office. It's been an honor and privilege to be part of the Racine Kenosha area for over 30 plus years, carrying on the traditions of my father, Dr. Conwar A. Singh. We hope this tour was enjoyable and provided you a glimpse of what we are about, trying to provide the latest technology for our patients, educate our patients, and hopefully helping you and others see the world more clearly. Thank you so much again.